Just to start, would you like to introduce yourself?
Of course. So my name is Dan. I've been known as Plastic Barricades for the last decade or so. I'm currently in southeast London, right on the River Thames. I can hear it sloshing outside. Yeah, and like this is the studio that our latest album was recorded in.
So, how long have you been doing it for?
So the first album came out in 2017, but the band was active for more than 10 years now.
So, the album was out on the 30th of November and it's called We Stay Indoors. Tell me a little bit about the production and how that came along.
So this is our third studio album, but it's actually very different to the other two. And the big difference is that this album was done remotely. So for the first time in my life, I haven't had any people in the same room with me. So it's like it's truly a lockdown album in every sense of the word. So the drummer Chris recorded all his parts in Sheffield. I've done everything else here. And I had several collaborations with people from Edinburgh and London, but everything was done remotely. That never happened before. All the previous stuff we recorded and released, it was the same room, people together. So very different experience for me as a songwriter. It had its ups and downs, but I'm glad we made it.
Did it take a long time to produce, or because, as you said, all the local elements, it must have taken a while to grab them together and then mix them and produce them and
The
stuff?
way that I approached this production was I tried to learn as much as I could during lockdowns about mixing, because with both previous albums we hired a mixing engineer and he was doing the mixing, and I had zero control about that, and I couldn't really influence the mixing as well because I didn't have the lingo and all that. So I thought that it's high time to for me to actually learn how it's done, not necessarily for me to mix it. And I wasn't the one mixing the album; that was done in a different studio by a hired mixing engineer. I had more understanding of how it's done. So when I was recording the songs and writing the parts, I was thinking about the final mix already. So that helped a lot when it came to demoing. So the demos were quite high quality, and I could experiment with arrangements and listen back to it. So I was trying to be more of a listener rather than the songwriter, and I think that helped with having less parts and having a bit more space in it, because if you listen to the first album, there's a lot of parts in there. A lot, and everything is very overwhelming to listen to sometimes. This album is very intimate. It's much more stripped back, and yeah, I think it works like this.
I think it's interesting that you said that you took the viewpoint of the listener rather than the songwriter. I find that very interesting.
That's very important. And like we can do that today because we can record really good quality even on the phone and then listen back to it. I even like to go to a different room, crank it up here, and then go to the next room and imagine that this is the radio playing and I'm like passing by and I hear the song on the radio, that kind of thing, to trick my brain into thinking that this is not my song, and then I can be a bit more objective about the parts and arrangements and all that.
That's just fascinating. That's definitely out of the box thinking, I have to say. So this new album, We Stay Indoors, it covers quite a lot of issues like hope and mental health and doubt and just the way we live now. Can you
Yeah,
explain a bit about
but
that?
it's quite an inward album because I think that when we all found ourselves locked indoors in 2020, we all had time to actually reflect on the decisions we made and we're making, and many people changed their lives quite dramatically for the best, I hope. So it's definitely an inward album. It's about me trying to figure out what's my role in all this chaos and how can I can only help other people fight their own demons if I have control over my own ones first. So the change starts within and then you can help other people. So that's the core message. So the songs are just explorations of those topics, and I always try to find some sort of solution, or maybe just like the way forward. So the songs are hopeful because I'm an optimist. I believe that we can do better. We just have to have that mission. If we have the mission to do better, we will. But we cannot be passive. We cannot just sit and wait for things to change. That's gonna lead to catastrophe. So yeah, it's optimism is an active thing for me. And I think this album represents that quite well.
Now, I did see that you did a video for counting fireworks in one take. How did that work?
So music videos is a big part of this band, and we've been doing them for quite a while now. And we always try to find new exciting ways to film something with very limited amount of funding and also limited amount of time and all. So we create our own limitations because I believe that so many people can do amazing things when they have a 20 people crew and £100,000. But when you don't have that, you have to think outside the box. So this is how we come up with all the ideas. So for this album, we tried to juxtapose cutting edge technology. So we've done 3 videos with AI, which took forever. And it was a very exciting new experiment. I don't think many bands done that. So we released our first AI video a year ago when it was very, very rudimental still, and looks very fun. It looks like a retro computer game. And then the other ones like County Fireworks or For the Brave, they are super DIY, all done in camera, no post production. So it's like it's very different edges of that spectrum. And with Fireworks, we just wanted to have a video with one take. We've never done that before, done other weird things, but one take was the aim. And it only took a day of rehearsals and then 17 to 18 takes on the day to get it right. So it's one take for you. It's about 17 takes for us. But yeah, there's no cuts, there's no edits, and all the things you see, they're all done in camera. So there's no layering, there's no computer editing. Yeah, so all real. I'm lucky to have my wife Elena do all the artwork and all the videos and all the photographs because she's an amazing visual artist. So the dynamic is always like this. I come to her with this crazy, weird idea, and then she has to figure out how to make it happen. But I think it works so far, and we even managed to get some film festival awards for Counting Fireworks this year, and for our 2020 video for Optimist, we also got some awards. So it's fun to see those videos played at film festivals because that's like a very specific audience who goes to see a movie, and then there's always a music video category, and then they see our weird thing. I like that. I just like we like to go to art galleries. We're spoiled for choice here in London. I was just always drawn to video installations because it's like you can do whatever you want. There's no limitation. I mean, with music videos, it has to have some sort of connection with the song, but it's a separate art form. It's a separate meaning, and it gives me an option to express myself visually as well as in music. So it's important. And every time we release the video, the expectations are higher for the next one. So we always feel the pressure to come up with this new way of making videos. So we've done a video with a microscope. We've done a video in a fish tank. We've done a video in camera with a projector, County Fireworks. So we've done a stop motion video, which is our latest one. So there's always like these techniques that we try to find, and we've never done those things before. So we learn and we try to find new ways of doing it and enjoy the process. That's important.
Where can we watch these then?
So it's all on our YouTube channel, Plastic Barricades into YouTube. You'll see all the weirdness.
I look forward to it. So, where can we find you with socials and stuff?
So we are mostly active on Instagram, so Plastic Barricades, and then the album is available on Spotify, iTunes, and all the other million streaming services. Yeah, I
We
think
haven't
that's
talked about gigs yet, so we
yeah.
can talk
Uh,
about
so
that.
so 2024, we're going to be gigging. I cannot give you any dates yet. We're hopefully going to do a UK tour. We haven't done that for a while. We've suddenly became a studio project for a couple of years. But I'm looking forward to getting back to the stage. And then the other thing I want to say is that if there are any musicians or, in fact, any creative people listening to this, I think we live in the golden age of creativity. And it might not feel that way for many people because there's just so much and we're overwhelmed. But we are instantly connected to people around the world. And if we make sure we are up to date when it comes to marketing, we can reach so many people. And I'm really humbled by all the messages and all the kindness I'm getting through Instagram and YouTube and Spotify and all that. I would never be able to play my music to those people because they live in Brazil or Japan or Australia, but they're listening to these songs and these songs helping them through a tough time or through a bad day. So I think if there are any creative people listening, believe in yourself, because now is the time to actually make it happen without the middleman, without the boss telling you what to do. We are our own bosses. And yeah, that's beautiful.
Yes, creative freedom's always good.
Yeah, I think it's people are just scared of really pushing their output out into the world for many reasons. And also because it's like you have to invest actual money into it without any guarantees of getting anything in return. But if you think about it, this is exactly the same way as with any other business. If you start a business, you have to invest money into it and then hopefully it's going to pay off. There's no guarantee. So there's no difference between being in a band and running a business. It's just these days, because of all the direct to fans advertising through Facebook, it's much easier to get the job done because it's very objective. You have all the numbers daily and you can tweak and you can try to find ways to find your fans, because surprisingly enough, Facebook knows my future fans much better than I do. I have no idea. And then their system has so many data points on everyone, which sounds very scary and sinister, but it's very effective. It works. So this is how we find our fans today. Yeah, and I don't think there's too many other ways, because when people say go and gig, I don't think it's applicable anymore, because no one is going to random gigs. Everyone is, so people you play the gig for already know you. And in order for you to have those people in that room, you have to do marketing before the gig.
Yeah, because what venues now tend to do is not to have so many people coming off the street. They tend to have resale tickets so that
Yeah.
obviously so they can pay the venue, and it's become quite a complicated thing, would you say, with gigging?
The difference is 10 years ago, you didn't have a choice. You had to gig in order to be a band. So you gigged and then maybe you went and recorded something. So it was in this order. Today, it's the other way around. You record and then you can reach so many more people online and they become your fans. And then those fans give you a reason to go and gig for them. Then you do that. So gigging is like a result of your recording effort. Whilst before it was the other way around. You gigged and then you recorded and then sold that album on the gigs. Different. I wouldn't say it's more difficult. It's just very different approach. And like if you listen to advice from all the established 50-year-old musicians, they all keep saying go and gig as much as you
Yeah.
can. I done that. We've been through a phase of touring constantly and it destroyed the band, because if you have little rifts here and there, they're going to be massive by the end of the tour because you spend so much time together. So touring is fun, but it has to be moderated. You have to have balance. You cannot just go touring all the time. The other thing is playing the same songs every day for even a month or sometimes 2 months. It's very hard to do that by the end. and like to still enjoy the process. I'm always trying to find enjoyment in the process, but yeah, sometimes I'm just so done with the songs and just spend like a year listening back to those songs because I was mixing the album. Yeah, so that's the tricky part. I think when
Mhm.
now we have a bigger catalog, so we can combine 3 albums into a set list. It's a bit easier. But yeah, if bands only have 1 album and they go touring all the time, get ready for burnout. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, that sounds quite difficult. Do you want to give us your socials again just before we wrap up?
Yeah, just find Plastic Barricades on Instagram. That's our central social media account at the moment.
Thank you. That would
Thank you.
be fantastic. And
Thank you,
keep in
Melissa.
touch, please.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kim. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.